Welcome back to the Jacked Racing YouTube channel. Welcome back to the shop. I think this is going to be a big day for us. We've found some very big problems with the truck that are going to make it so much better. I think we finally found the end to our motor problems. Yeah, it's been a long journey figuring this out, but I think we're finally there. I'm going to let Dad show you what he found the other day while he was working on this thing. I think we finally cracked the case.
So many thanks to an experienced racer at Auburndale Speedway who suggested we take a look at the pickup line inside the fuel cell. So if you can imagine inside the fuel cell, just like this one sitting here, there is a hose that drops down and the gas comes in and goes out and is delivered to the rest of the engine. What we found was this hose had deteriorated to the point where there was no rubber left on the inside or the outside. It was just the braid, and you can actually suck air through that braid. So as the fuel pump was trying to pull fuel from the fuel cell, it was actually pulling a little bit of fuel, but mostly pulling air, and that's why we were never able to build up fuel pressure.
And there you go. That explains everything. It explains the motor cutting out a couple laps into a race. If it was, if the tank was really full, it might have been able to suck air through the top part, or suck fuel through the top part of that broken hose. But by the time you got, the fuel level down, it's just, like you said, pulling air right into the fuel line. So that explains pretty much everything. We hope, knock on wood, something, I don't know. But that has to be the problem. It explains all of our issues we've been having. And yeah, we're going to just replace this whole fuel system because we've had enough of this. So we've got a new fuel cell going in. If we come over here, we've got fuel lines ready to get put in. We've got a new fuel filter set up thanks to some suggestions from people that are faster than us. They all said we should put this little Oberg valve here on the end of the filter rather than before. Ours was before the filter, and it makes a lot of sense, right? You want the filter to catch all that crap before it goes into that little valve in there. So I think this is finally it. I think we're going to get this thing running right. We also found a bind up in the rear suspension here. I can kind of show you what we're looking at while we got the frame apart. Also, we're painting the frame this silver color. What do you guys think of that? But you see that little rubber piece on that shock there? That shows where the travel was ending, and it's right in line with the brake caliper there. So we already moved it out, but that shock used to be mounted a lot closer, and it looks like that shock was binding up on the caliper. So basically the rear end was binding up. I know we had some binds in the front too that we already took care of, but getting that bind out of the rear seemed to make a huge difference in the like 3 laps I ran at Auburndale before the fuel pressure gave out. So between all these things, I think we're finally on track, and it's time to rebuild now. We'll see if we can get it fired up and see what happens. Alright, well here we go. We got the new fuel cell installed. We've got the line run at least temporarily good enough to test fire it. We're about to start spinning it over, make sure there's no leaks anywhere, and then hopefully get it fired up and have the appropriate amount of fuel pressure. So let's see what happens. Let's get some fuel flowing. Ready?
Yep.
You want to make sure there's no leaks coming from back there or anywhere?
Yeah. just going to take a while because it has to fill up that filter and all the lines and. Starter rest every once in a while.
Try not to zap it.
Yeah.
Already lost 0.2 volts.
That's all right.
We've got good oil pressure.
That's good. Okay, go again. I'm starting to get a little pulse here.
Is it?
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. You can probably turn the ignition on now.
You want to give her a pump. You think there's enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Here goes nothing. Ready?
Yep. Try to get the electric gauge hooked up again and see if that reading okay.
Sure.
Let's give it a second. I want the pressure to kind of dissipate.
Spray everywhere.
Yeah.
It's never held 7 like that before,
Never.
has it?
Never.
That had to be it then.
And it, like when it got there, it went like boop, 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 and just held there. Before we had 5, but it was like
Yeah.
bouncing all over the place.
Oh
So
yeah.
we have visual evidence that there's a significant difference here.
I like it. Well, there we go. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here without taking it to the track, but that looked like it pretty much fixed what we were dealing with. The fuel pressure went right to 7. It stayed there. There was none of this kind of up and down flaky stuff that it used to do, and it never even made it to 7 before. It could only get to like 4 at the most, so getting to 7 I think is going to be huge. I'm pretty sure that is going to solve this engine problem that's been bothering us all year. It's been super frustrating, and of course it was a part that was hidden. Of course it was a cheap part, but it was hidden, so how are we ever going to find it without taking the whole system apart? But hopefully all that work is going to be worth it. It looks so much nicer back there. This silver frame is making a big difference here. I just took the seat belts out. We're going to get some new seat belts in because those other ones are a pain in the butt. But yeah, make sure you click the subscribe button. We're so close to 1,000. We're going to be doing a big giveaway once we get there. We're going to be giving away our shirts, some of these hats, all sorts of cool stuff. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow along, see what's going to happen when we take this thing to the track. We're racing in 2 weeks at Auburndale Speedway, and then 2 weeks after that, we'll be there again for the big charity weekend. It's going to be a big weekend of some awesome racing. It's usually one of the craziest races of the year down here, and we're going to give it a shot. So make sure you click subscribe, see if this stuff works. I'm going to make some other videos in the meantime until we get to the track. But yeah, we're going to take it back to the track as soon as we can, test it out. I think this is going to really make the difference for us. So yep, thanks for checking out the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.